Theater of the Poor is the group. Bill Conte is the guy behind it. This started out as a summer thing.
Yeah, we started out doing summer productions back in 2016, and since then we've evolved, and we're doing a full season that's funded by the Wyoming Council of the Arts.
You know, you have a kind of personality all your own to this group. It's going to be a little different. You got to know that.
Yeah, well, now we're doing Hamlet by William Shakespeare, and this is in continuation with our theme of language exploration. We did a medieval play, we did an absurdist play, and now we're doing this great Renaissance classic in this very small space that will invoke a lot of the techniques of Shakespeare's own theater, and we're hoping that the audience will have a really visceral and intense and immediate experience of one of Shakespeare's best-known plays.
This is a small venue, but you seem to be making use of every square inch of it,
Yeah.
including a fight outside the actual studio part.
Yeah, well, we're using the corridors for 3 sequences in the play, so the audience is actually going to have to get up and move with the actors to see 3 scenes in the play, which are staged.
It's almost like a bar fight. You don't have to get out and watch it, right?
Yeah, well, the graveyard scene just made sense to stage it in the hallway and the staircase. And we have ghostly apparitions occurring in the corridors, which we're using the building in a way that's consistent with our style of making the best possible use of whatever space we happen to be in.
Yeah, they have a lot of energy, I got to tell you, and there's some classic parts and classical parts of the way you do business, and some just out there new kind of ways to look at it.
Yeah, well, part of the reason that we like to do the classics is because they're eternal, they're immortal, they continue to speak to us, and they're always worth doing. Plus, because we're a school, our student actors need to be exposed to this material. They need to be cutting their teeth on this. Daniel Eichelhart as Hamlet is having an enormously transformative experience. The kid is coming into his own as an actor, and you just got to come and see what he has accomplished as Hamlet.
Well, what is it about Shakespeare you think that keeps us all in the ages? It just seems to be Shakespeare's world.
Well, we can lapse into like lots of cliches about this, but it's true. He was a transcendent genius that found a way to create an art form that remains relevant for every generation that inherits it. And we find new insights and new delights and new experiences every time we come back to him. And if you look at the history of the production of Shakespeare, you see that this holds true. And everyone has interpreted him in a way that speaks to their own time and their own place. And it's happening here right now.
I must say that every time I would go to a Shakespeare festival, I'd read the liner notes, the cliff notes, something to get so I didn't get lost in the plot a little bit. Yeah. Give us a little liner notes for this so we don't have to get lost in the theme.
Sure. Well, Hamlet is the Prince of Denmark, and he has returned because his mother has married his uncle after the death of his father. The uncle was the father's brother. Well, it turns out that the uncle murdered the father for the throne of Denmark, and the ghost of Hamlet's father comes back so that Hamlet will seek and take revenge on the uncle and assume his rightful place as the king. But the problem with Hamlet is that he is an intellectual, and he overthinks everything to the point where he can do nothing. Hamlet is a great example of what happens when intellectuals are running things. Nothing gets done, and everybody upward from the rank of butler dies. And this is a play about an incredibly sensitive young man who has been called to do a terrible and bloody thing, and he's just constantly finding ways to evade it, but unfortunately, because he doesn't pursue his destiny, everything collapses around him.
This is one of the great soliloquies of all time.
The to be or not to be speech. I think that the audience will recognize a lot that's familiar because it's so iconic. Even people with a passing interest in theater or literature will be familiar with some of this.
You'd be surprised. You know more about it than you think.
Exactly.
All right, so Hamlet is playing at Theater of the Poor. Tell us where and when.
Okay, we're at 140 East Midwest Avenue on the 2nd floor. We're running March 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, and then the following 9, 10, 11, and 12 of March.
You really need to catch the act of the Theater of the Poor. They are doing a great job, and you're just going to find it a immersing theater experience.
Well, if you go to our website at www.theaterofthepoor.org, you'll find out more information about the play and everything else that our company is up to.
Bill, good luck with it.
Thank you, Mark.
All right.